is the Quebec News. I'm Emma.
And I'm Ashley, and we're going to talk to you about the Battle of Quebec. This is Arnold's arrival. He left in September 1775, which was supposed to be a 20-day journey, ended up being 40 days. He arrived with 600 men in December and waited for Montgomery's troops on either December 2nd or December 3rd. It is unknown.
We have an interview with Arnold, so let's roll the clip now.
Hi, I'm here with Benedict Arnold. Benedict, what's your story in the Battle of Quebec?
First, when we decided to attack Quebec City, I went to George Washington and suggested that we take the wilderness route. So he agreed, and I took 1,100 men in September 1775. On the way there, it was supposed to be a 20-day trek, but then meant to be over 40 days long. 300 of my men turned back, and 200 died of starvation, deprivation, and the smallpox disease that broke out in our camps. We got to Quebec City in November 1775 and waited for Montgomery's troops. When they got there, we attacked the city in December 31st, 1775. I got the northern wall. The British were ready for us though, so they took out their guns and they shot at us. I fell on the ground because they shot me in my leg and many bones were broken. I stayed in the Canadian territory until all my men were safely back out of Canada. I then shot my horse and jumped in a canoe and rode down the St. Lawrence River to safety. This is a waste of time because we lost the battle. 431 of my men were captured, including Captain Daniel Morgan, who picked up for me after my leg was shot. This was our biggest defeat in the American Revolution so far.
Okay, well, thank you.
So, this is Montgomery's arrival. Montgomery successfully captured Montreal on November 13, 1775. He took himself and his troops to Quebec to meet up with Arnold and his men in December for their attack on Quebec.
We don't have an interview with him because he died on the scene. Here are the British preparations for the battle. The British knew Arnold and Montgomery's plan to attack them for a while now, because they had intercepted their communications between the two of them.
The British heard about Arnold's attack on November 3rd, so they strengthened their guard and increased the militia to over 1,200 men. On November 10th, Maclean arrived in Quebec with 200 men, and they helped the town militia. Maclean immediately took charge of the defense.
We have two interviews for the British. One is Sir Guy Carleton.
Hi, I'm here with Sir Guy Carleton. Guy, what's your take on the Battle of Quebec?
Well, I heard there was a rebellion starting, so I was much prepared. We couldn't get outside help due to the freezing of the St. Lawrence River, so we got local militias, in-town people, and regulars to help us. I defended my city, and we captured one of the American leaders and killed him, and we also injured one too. We also captured 400 American soldiers, so I would say it was a great win for us.
Thank you.
The other one is Colonel Alan McLean.
Hi, I'm here with Colonel Alan McLean. What's your story in the Battle of Quebec?
Well, first, I came back to Canada and General Gage asked me to set up a unit of an army from Scottish communities. So I started in Canada, New York, and the Carolinas. Then Montgomery attacked Canada, so I tried protecting St. John's twice, but I couldn't. I had to go back to Canada and help my British troops from Montgomery because Carleton hadn't came back from Montreal yet. And then the battle was a good one though because we won and we captured many American colonists and killed and injured both their leaders. It was a great battle for the British soldiers and a big loss for the Americans.
Okay, thank you.
This is the overview of the battle. On December 2nd or 3rd, Arnold and Montgomery met outside of Quebec. They immediately ordered the city to surrender, but the city ignored them. On December 9th, the Americans concocted a plan, but it backfired when the British soldiers tampered with some of the American soldiers' guns at 4 a.m. on December 31st. The Patriots left for the city during a blizzard, but the British were ready for them. When Montgomery's troops were 50 yards from the wall, the British started to fire. Montgomery died on the scene.
Arnold's unit experienced a similar unfortunate encounter with the British on the northern wall of the city. A 2-gun battery opened fire and killed many Americans and wounded Arnold's leg, shattering it. Patriot Daniel Morgan undertook command after Arnold was shot. He made progress, but was stopped at the second wall, waiting for help. By the time the help arrived, the attack was called off. So this is the outcome of the battle. The British won the battle. The Patriots lost the battle. It was their first major defeat. One reason was because of one of the leaders, Montgomery, who was killed. When Montgomery was killed, most of his recent officers were killed or injured. Also, 431 Americans were captured, including Daniel Morgan, who assumed power after Arnold was shot.
When much of Arnold's force had been captured, it left the American militia very small and still suffering from the winter hardships and the smallpox disease. Both Montgomery's and Arnold's troops ended up having to retreat. The reason why the British won was because they saved Quebec and didn't have to retreat at all. They showed how their strength was better than the Americans. The statistics of the British were that 5 were killed, 14 were wounded, and 0 were captured.
And for the Americans, 48 killed, 34 wounded, and 431 were captured.
This shows you how the British definitely won this battle, and it was the most awful defeat for the Americans yet.
We'll see you next week on the Quebec News.
Thank you, and good night.